Norwich City's first goal said plenty about their first half performance. They competed for everything, there was good running, good first time passing and plenty of confidence from the younger players. And eventually a tremendous finish from Peter Mendham. It's safe to say he enjoyed that one. Luton played with style as usual when they could get possession, but against the Norwich side in this mood, it was essential they took their few chances. Norwich City's combination of the old-timers and young newcomers was producing what Ken Brown called their best football of the season. Their second goal, though, was one entirely from the old school. Nick Shannon, 36 later this month, gets free. Dibble can't control the cross, and 34-year-old Asa Hartford is on the scene. His first goal for the club just after signing a contract till the end of the season. This was how the second half began and finished the game for Luton. A half-hearted appeal there against Shannon, who supplies Louis Donowa this time. And Dale Gordon scores. The first senior goal for the 17-year-old winger. Luton, to their credit, kept playing and dominated the rest of the game for what it was worth. Although Norwich had been a bit too aggressive, a bit too experienced for them, they should certainly have scored at least once, with Frank Bunn missing their best chance late on, to the relief of the home supporters.
Justin Fashionu's return to Carrow Road was marred with a booking, and he had few opportunities to shine when Notts County did move forward. Even Martin O'Neill, the other Norwich old boy, was strangely anonymous. Something looked to be on just before half-time. Rashid Hakouk broke. But Asa Hartford steals his thunder. Good, intelligent play this. Louis Donowa is released down the left. There's plenty of support arriving in the box. Gordon's touch, and Shannon tidies up. The 300th goal of his career. Second half, Norwich on top, but missing the final touch. Donowa was about to be substituted when he spotted Dean at the far post. 72 minutes, 2-0 Norwich. Watson involved now. Notts County wait for the offside flag, which never came. Dean can't quite believe his luck. Donowa's also unmarked. And that's 3-0 Norwich. 2 goals in 6 minutes. Norwich home and dry. Fashanu was still prepared to salvage something. Plenty of pace here. But Hakouk way off target. It wasn't Notts County's night. A Watson free kick. And Fashanu over the top. Disappointment for him. But cheers at the end for Shannon, who was given a bottle of champagne to...
None of the new signings had made the starting lineup. Few could have imagined that within 15 minutes, this was to be the beginning of the destruction of the Super League theory and a genuine challenge for the Cup and League double.
Putney trying to get it through the middle. Fleck turns it on. Here's Crook. He might have a go. Nice one to Gordon. Can't control it. Gordon shot. It's in. Fleck got a touch. Oh, Gordon's done well. Rosario getting up for this. Putney coming in is Bowen.
We set a pattern right from the off, really, and confidence came within a matter of 3 or 4 games, and it showed in all the performances.
Football, we don't. There's no hard and fast secret to our game. It's just knock it about, And I think all the time you do that, you'll have a chance. I really do.
But it took time to convince the nation that these Norfolk upstarts at the top of the First Division were not trespassing. Sparkling goals at Old Trafford to snatch victory in the closing minutes certainly helped.
The best away performance was, I felt, Manchester United away. But having said that, the best result, I thought, was Liverpool away.
Personally, it was the first time I'd ever played at Anfield, and to score, then get the result that we did was just, you know, fantastic, and it's a memory that'll stay with me all my life, really. If we play 11-man football, then it's going to be attractive because the ball is going to be passed around quite rapidly at times, 1-2 touch football. People are going to be involved in all areas of the pitch, and this is what we've tried to promote amongst the players, and they've realised the responsibility they have in trying to keep the ball moving and keep the play flowing from end to end, really.
Form away from home was so good it eased the embarrassment of some lapses at Carrow Road. Now whoever drew Norwich City in the FA Cup was playing a side who proved in the league they could beat anyone.
I think this particular squad, it's proved that, you know, the players here who have probably come from other clubs, possibly reserve teams, what have you, it proved to them that they can play in a high level of football. I mean, I've come down from reserve football in Scotland, and, you know, so I proved to myself and proved to people that I can play in a high level. And I'm sure a lot of the lads, I mean, there's 3 lads that came from Tottenham, couldn't get a game there, and they've proved the same thing.
What's been your favourite game down here this year?
Man United game, definitely.
Why is that?
Norwich just outshone them, they shoot first-class football.
When we played against Manchester United at home, it's a good fixture anyway for the fans to see, and I've had many comments since from the fans saying how they thought that was the best first-half performance that they'd ever seen from a Norwich City team.
No disrespect to Arsenal are still a good side, but I think the biggest problem we've got at the moment is Norwich. You know, I think everybody writes Norwich off, but they're a good side, and even when they've had a bad result, they've always bounced back and won the next one.
But perhaps when Liverpool came to Carrow Road, the pressure was already beginning to take its toll. Newcastle had shown that sides were preparing much more thoroughly against Norwich. Liverpool threw everything at them in the early stages. It was important that they hung on.
Barnes, Whelan, room for Staunton to get a good cross in. Beautiful play, and Barnes can't quite get there, and banged into the net by Whelan.
The disappointing thing was the reaction generally from the media afterwards, in that Liverpool, who were on a roll at that time and who did play well on the day, they were given huge amount of praise, whereas we were given none. And whether that got through to the players a little bit or not, I don't know. It shouldn't as professionals, but they're only human beings after all. And I think that they were possibly scarred a little bit from that, from the reporting that went on after that game. And that possibly had an effect in the later games.
But there was still the excitement of the semi-final against Everton to come, and they headed for Villa Park in their thousands. But a side without Michael Phelan and Robert Fleck was edged out. The Wembley dream had gone. And long before they'd returned home, the Hillsborough tragedy had made the result totally insignificant. The season was over, but no one could deny it had been one to remember.
I mean, we all grizzled when Ken Brown went, but let's face it, they'd done the business.
I think with Stringer and Williams, they got a winning combination.
If you're saying would our chances have been better had we had a bigger squad, the answer to that may have been yes. The size of squad we've got is capable of doing it, but that's not to say we're not determined to start next season with a slightly bigger and stronger squad.
So, in the end, no silverware, but definitely fine entertainment and more than a little respect.
I was speaking to one manager who said, you know, you start at the top of the handicaps next year. There's no mental block there to say that we're going to lose against the bigger sides because, you know, they are who they are. We've just got to go out there and play and believe in ourselves and know that we've done it once and we can do it again.
And that's it. The season not quite over, of course. Arsenal, Liverpool, Aston Villa, West Ham will tell you that. And
days later could so easily have brought 3 more league points, but in the end the Canaries were more than happy to settle for just 1. Robert Fleck, playing his last match on loan, just about sealed the permanent move by scoring the opening goal. A few days later, Norwich paid £650,000 for his services. But a burst of 2 goals in 2 minutes put Grimsby in control and left Norwich goalkeeper Andy Marshall, playing in place of the suspended Brian Gunn, in a state of shock. The equaliser was scored by Gary Childs, and soon afterwards Grimsby went ahead. Another spectacular long-range effort, this time from Nicky Southall. Things got even worse for Norwich when winger Darren Eadie was sent off. He was as shocked as anybody to be given the red card for a foul. But Norwich refused to crumble, and they rescued a point late in the game. Adi Akinbaye the scorer, and the match ended Grimsby 2, Norwich 2. Now, as the season progressed, Leicester City were a team who'd figure prominently in the Norwich City story.
At Kenilworth Road. Norwich are 2 points clear at the top of Division 1, despite losing Saturday.
Norwich were under pressure from the word go, but it took a special effort from Kevin Gage to beat Brian Gunn. Just before half-time, a scramble from this corner and Norwich are back in it. Trevor Putney squeezing his shot in. He, though, was to become the villain of the piece. The second half and a big talking point coming up, a second controversial penalty in successive away matches as Alan McAnally goes down. There's no doubt Gunn takes the ball. He's booked for protesting, but what a fine save from David Platt. Then Putney's costly mistake. First the slip, then the back heel lets in Andy Gray, and he crosses for Platt to make amends for his miss. And when Gage hit his second to underline Villa's superiority, with it went Norwich's unbeaten away record.
Ipswich.
In the middle, Hodges in a great position. Clough on the near post, here he is. Rosario tackled by Chettle. Putney trying to get it through the middle. Fleck turns it on, here's Crook, he might have a go. Nice one to Gordon, can't control it, Gordon shot, it's in! Fleck with a touch. Robert Fleck, I think, got the last touch, but was Gordon's shot going in? Dale Gordon's done well. Rosario getting up for this. Putney coming in is Bowen. Mark Bowen with number 2. Cook can get a cross in now. Rosario's the really deep man on the far post. Rosario's going to get this. It's about Gordon and put over the top by Colin Foster. That's a nice little touch to Clough. Clough away from Butterworth. Clough is fast. Butterworth can't get to him. Rice's kick. That's an easy one. That's a hat-trick of misses for Clough. This is Clough and a foul by Andy Linnigan. Free kick to Forest. Not much sympathy from the crowd. Rice hooks one in, it's dangerous. And that's in the back of the net. Coming in from the far side was Steve Chettle, the fullback. Gordon again will take the kick. Rosario and Putney on the near post. Butterworth and Linnigan coming in from the edge of the area. Here comes Linnigan. A hell of a header. They've lost their way a little bit up front in this second half, but it's been a good performance all round, provided they can keep it like this. Webb, it's a chance here for Clough, he must get it. Good save. Brian Gunn to the rescue.
Well, in the second division, an old chasing a forward this week, although
Queen's Park Rangers aren't scoring too many goals. They won't concede many either, while keeper David Seaman's in this kind of form. A flying save from Andy Linnigan. City's great start has clearly done little to impress the Norwich public, their lowest crowd ever for a First Division match, but the 11,000 who did turn up rewarded by skipper Mike Phelan, turning 2 men inside out, the 1-2 with Fleck, and at last Seaman is beaten, just 7 minutes from time.
The team keeping Norwich off the very top of the Spurs. Norwich took the field on Saturday 1 point ahead at the top of the table, attracting a crowd of around 20,000 for the first time this season. They had to hold off some concerted early pressure from Spurs, who hadn't lost away from home so far. But soon after Chris Waddle headed wide, Norwich took up the assault.
Dale Gordon going forward, leaving a bit of space here for Culverhouse. It's well worked and a good ball and a good return. Can he get it? Can he cross it? Finds Gordon. Space in the area. Gordon. Oh, what great stuff, and desperately close as Mims saves the day. Gordon takes the corner. The big fella's up there again. Linnigan trying to get in on this one. Here's Rosario. It's Rosario with the opening goal. The player, they said, couldn't score enough goals in key situations, puts Norwich City into the lead. Nice ball from Townsend. That's a good play. Rosario gets away from Thomas. Rosario, and nobody's there for it. And Fleck. Robert Fleck, 2-0 to Norwich City. When Rosario came in and knocked that ball square, nobody seemed to want it. Then suddenly an eager foot put it to Robert Fleck. He didn't dwell on it, just banged it accurately past Bobby Mims. Stevens supporting. Samway square of him. And over here is Gascoigne with a lot of room, and it could be danger. Chip forward, nice one, into Fairclough's path. Once Gascoigne had knocked that ball forward onto the head of Stevens, and he put it back to Fairclough, there seemed to be ages and ages for him to bring it down and bury it. Dale Gordon with the corner. Rosario on his way in, Linnigan on his way in. Linnigan's there. The big corner, the big fella's coming in from a distance. Nobody's coming out to meet the ball for Spurs, and Linnigan is a long way in there before he gets the touch, and it's 3-1.
Division after beating Derby 1-0.
It was a day of mixed fortunes for Trevor Putney. He does well here on the left. The cross, and who puts it in? Derby defender Mark Wright. And both were involved moments later in a rather ugly set-to, a scramble for the ball, a crude challenge from Putney. Mark Wright then bursts in here with arms flying. There's one almighty fracas, and Putney and Wright are sent off. They'll each miss 3 games.
At Kenilworth Division, Norwich are gradually winning more friends, but not getting the right headlines exactly. 2 points that got away at Everton after a first-class performance there. Norwich had taken the lead from what manager Dave Stringer called one of their best goals of the season, involving, not for the first time, Dale Gordon, a fine cross, and Malcolm Allen's header. In the lead, and deservedly so. But 13 minutes later, controversy. Trevor Putney tackles Ian Snowden, nicking the ball away, half-hearted appeals for a throw-in, then bedlam. Referee John Penrose is given a penalty. Today, Norwich are remaining cool about the referee's decision, but imagine what John Bond's era would have made of it. Scandalous. But a golden opportunity for Everton and the end of Norwich's 100% away record. And a costly weekend
followed for arguing with the referee.
Division 1 leaders Norwich were there to be shot down at 2nd Division Leicester, and there was an early warning this wasn't to be the Canaries' night. Mark Bowen's shot scrambled off the line by former Norwich defender Tony Spearing. Then a good example of just why Norwich tried so hard to buy striker Mike Newell in the close season. The overlap coming up. Nice cross and a classy near-post header, 1-0. That, though, Leicester's only serious attack in the first half, dominated by Norwich. They really played some nice stuff. But until now, this sort of thing has been going in. Trevor Putney, the unlucky man there. And not too much luck here either. A penalty is given for the foul on Fleck, but the linesman already waving for offside. Leicester duly completed their giant-killing act near the end through Paul Reed. Mark Bowen was hurt there. He had to be carried off with a badly bruised knee.
Well, they worked the goal well. They caught us a little bit cold on that one, but after that incident, I thought we did enough.
For Andy Lynn.
Gates, best running blocks so quickly. Oh, ye of little faith, you ought to be ashamed of yourselves.
Thousands of Teessiders had waited a long time for the return of First Division football to Aysom Park. Robert Rosario took just 1 minute and 44 seconds to silence them. Borough skipper Tony Mowbray had them roaring again with a sizzling 25-yarder. But Rosario caused more problems with a header against the bar. But even the bar couldn't deny Robert Fleck, whose shot crashed in off the woodwork. 2-1 at half-time. Then former Ipswich midfielder Mark Brennan, who turned down Norwich in favour of a move north, did City a favour, his intended tackle flying in off Fleck. Winger Mark Burke made it 3-2 eventually, but Norwich held on and are joint top of the table with 6 points out of 6.
Nice one. Well, Luton Town manager...
Then Robert Fleck burst through, brought down by Dave Besant. The referee says no. What do you think? Fleck, though, wasn't to be denied. A fine through ball here from Ian Crook. Besant again flattened Fleck, but not before he's put it in. 2-0.
So, to life just after half-time. Norwich ahead from Ian Crook's superbly judged free kick. But Millwall will level within a minute. A neat touch by Sheringham. And that's Tony Cascarino's 6th goal of the season. Norwich were back in front from another Crook free kick. Robert Rosario out jumping the Millwall defence. But again the Londoners hit back from the restart. Cascarino turns and O'Callaghan does the rest. Norwich 2, Millwall 2.
In the second half, this attack down the right ends with Michael Phelan supplying the cross for substitute Malcolm Allen. He scored his first goal for the club, 2-0 to Norwich, and what a way for manager Dave Stringer to celebrate today, his first year in charge of the team.
In the opening...
Again, Mendham. They're threatening here, and it's turned in by Patton. They had men over then. There were 6 Yeovil defenders who all got pulled away to the far post. Dance. Met by Finnegan. Well spread out by Patton. Bond, that's a teaser. Robson, good save, and then it went in. Here's Pashanou again, and that is 3.
It was hardly the start Manchester City would have chosen. 40 seconds gone and a free kick given away. Perhaps Wembley was already in their minds, but their defence was all at sea as they went a goal down. Too often in the match it was left to the instinctive reflexes of Joe Corrigan to keep the Wolves at bay. At the other end, City were attacking, but it was number 3, Bobby McDonald, a defender himself, setting things up for the experience of Dennis Stewart. And it was Stewart in the second half with an unexpected backheader to Dave Bennett that gave City the lead. Despite an uncertain defence, City deserved full marks for their commitment to attack. But it's unlikely they'll have such an easy time at Wembley next month. Chris Jameson, ITN Sport, Wolverhampton.
Signed from Barnet after he'd made a good impression when the clubs met in the FA Cup last season. And Neil Smiley is the only summer signing. He came from Crystal Palace, where he played in every game last season. The full lineup, well, that shows no Steve Foster. He's serving a one-match suspension, and no Jimmy Case either. He's out of action with a fractured toe.